What's going on, everybody? Born Again here. What the hap is fucking? So today I figured I'd do another comic book related video. Why not? Amidst these whole crazy times, looks like we're not gonna get Black Widow or Eternals until next year. It looks like my homie G Slice, Bread Slice homie G's. So today I want to talk a little bit about not Black Widow. Who gives a shit about her? No, not the Eternals. Fuck them. We're gonna talk about Spider-Man because Spider-Man's cool. You know, Tom Holland. There's something about that Tom Holland kid. He's a pretty cool guy. You know, I may not like him as much as the Maguire Spider-Man, but that's all right. All right, he's better than Andrew Garfield, but that's not saying much. I just want to say he's awesome. And I figured in today I wanted to stop because I thought, wait, what could happen in Spider-Man's future? What would happen with his villains? Well, yeah. So today I think I'm just gonna stop and cast. I have castings for all of the Spider-Man villains that I could find. And before I start, I want to give a quick disclaimer. You know, not your favorite villain may not be on here. Like, I didn't cast the Kingpin, so I didn't cast every single villain that Spider-Man has. So don't get fucking upset with me and rip me a new fucking asshole in the comments because I didn't put fucking Big Wheel in here. All right, just go with the video. All right, let's get started. Who did I cast? So I want to get this out of the way first. I'm not going to cast any villain that's already been casted. So that would be Vulture, Mysterio, Shocker, Scorpion, Tinkerer, Chameleon, hopefully, Morbius, Venom, and Carnage. And those are respectively played by Michael Keaton, Jake Gyllenhaal plays Mysterio, Bokeem Woodbine plays Shocker, Michael Mando will play Scorpion, Michael Chernus plays the Tinkerer, and then Newman Akar played a character named Dimitri in Spider-Man Far From Home, and the only Dimitri that I could find really in Spider-Man mythos was Dimitri, whatever his last name is, who is the Chameleon. So he may be the Chameleon down the line. I'm just going to put him down as the Chameleon. Then we got Jared Leto playing Morbius, Tom Hardy playing Venom, and Woody Harrelson playing Carnage. So I know those three. We don't know if they're part of the larger MC universe, but I'm just going to incorporate them because it's fucking fun. Why not? Alright, why the fuck not? So today we're going to be casting Dr. Octopus, Sandman, the Lizard, Electro, Green Goblin, Kraven the Hunter, Alistair, Smythe, Rhino, Hammerhead, Tombstone, Jackal, Mr. Negative, Black Cat, Hydro Man, and the Hobgoblin. Let's go ahead and get started. Who did I cast, Johnny? Who did I cast as Dr. Octavius? Alright, so here's the thing. For Dr. Octopus, so for each cast, I have at least 2 actors. So, yeah. For this one, I got fucking Mark Hamill as Dr. Octopus. You know, as I've seen a lot of people say Mark Hamill could be Dr. Octopus, and why not? You know, I kind of like the whole thing like that, you know. I like him as Dr. Octopus. I think he'd be cool. He's got the personality. He's got the hijinks. He could probably really pull it off. And then the other one I have is, I think I'm gonna butcher his name, like I'm gonna butcher a lot of other people's names here. Shit, how do I say it? Tony Shalubb, I think. And if you don't know who that is, he's the actor from Monk. He plays Adrian Monk on the show Monk, which is a show that my girlfriend and her family have introduced me to, and I've only seen the first 2 episodes because why not? I'm gonna watch it with my girlfriend's family though, and her, so I gotta watch the rest of it. Monk, if you guys have never seen Monk, Adrian Monk, played by Tony Shalubb, is like literally one of the best actors at playing an OCD guy. And I just think that kind of, not necessarily OCD, but like that kind of personality or that kind of trait would help him be this kind of socially awkward, down-to-earth kind of scientist, aka Doc Ock. And I think he'd be really good. I think they'd both be really good. So that's my Dr. Octopus right there. Alright, next up we got Sandman, and for Sandman I have 2 actors, like I said. I actually have 3 actors, but one of them is already in a movie coming up, so I can't put him on here. We have Sandman. I have Michael Shannon, aka Zod, from Man of Steel. He's been in a lot of other things. He was in Knives Out. Michael Shannon's a great actor. He's kind of got the look of Sandman. He's got the evil, like, super villain look. He's perfect for Zod. And then the other one I have is Kiefer Sutherland, who is also on a show that my girlfriend's family introduced me to, 24, starring Federal Agent Jack Perry. Yes, these two would be phenomenal. You know what? I should do this too. I'm gonna pick who I would rather have as each character. So for Doc Ock, I think between Mark Hamill and Tony Shalubb, or Shalubb, I don't know. I'm gonna pick Marky Hamill, Marky, and the Funky Bunch. And then Sandman, Kiefer Sutherland, Michael Shannon. I don't know if Kiefer would do it. I feel like he wouldn't do it. So I'm going to pick Michael Shannon just for the sheer fact that I know he would do it, and he's evil looking. And then if I had a third... I did have a third option, but he's already in Black Widow. I would say David Harbour, who plays Hopper on Stranger Things, would be a perfect Sandman. He's got the kind of evil looking face, but he's already in Black Widow. And if he wasn't in Black Widow, I want him to be Sandman or the Thing from Fantastic Four. So I'm gonna pick Michael Shannon over Kiefer, though. That's my option. All right, next is Dr. Connors, aka the Lizard. And so for these two, or for this one, I have Colin Firth and Aaron Eckhart, who have both played comic booky characters before. Colin Firth played Harry Hart in the Kingsman franchise, and then Aaron played Two-Face beautifully in The Dark Knight. Probably the best Two-Face we've seen in the live action, and we might ever see in live action. So here's the thing. I love both of these guys as actors. They've both been incredible and phenomenal. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'm picking Colin Firth over Aaron Eckhart because I just think Colin would give it his all more than Aaron. I don't know if Aaron would like the source material of playing this guy. He might, but I've always took Aaron as more of a serious kind of guy. I don't think he'd be in something as wacky and sometimes serious, but as something like Spider-Man. So I'm picking Colin Firth as my Dr. Connors, the Lizard. Alright, next we have Maxwell Dillon, aka Electro. And for Electro, I have two actors. I have Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad fame, and Jamie Dornan, who played some sex-crazed maniac in the 51st movie. 51st Dates, that movie. So as far as this is concerned, I think the answer is easy for me. I just needed a second choice because I said I was going to have two actors. It's obviously going to be Aaron Paul. If you've not seen Breaking Bad, watch Breaking Bad. I swear to God, this guy, Aaron Paul, is by far one of the best actors today, and he doesn't get enough love for what he is and who he is. He is so versatile, and he gives so much emotion that's so raw and full of energy. He would be perfect for Electro, and he's only 40? So he's perfect. He looks like he's about 28, but he's 40. He's amazing. Aaron Paul all the way for Maxwell Dillon, the Electro. Alright, the next one is Norman Osborn, aka the Green Goblin. And this one's going to be hard to choose between, the actor-wise. So the two actors I have are Clive Owen, who I haven't seen in a while, and Matthew McConaughey. And if you guys don't know, back in 2015, back when Spider-Man was announced to be in the MCU, they were looking for villains. I think that's about the time where they were talking to Michael Keaton about the Vulture role. They were talking to Matthew McConaughey about playing Norman Osborn. So that's why I have him on here. And I honestly think he'd be really good. But Clive Owen has just this look about him that makes me want to go, he'd be good as Green Goblin. He's not my choice yet. I haven't given my choice yet, but if you see him in Sin City or anything he's been in, he's such a great actor, and he's got the look of an evil man. But Matthew McConaughey, man, he is proven himself to be a A-list actor. He is versatile. He can do comedy. He can do drama. He can do action. He is an actor who I want to see play the Green Goblin. I'm picking Matthew McConaughey over Clive Owen. I don't know what you guys think, but that's just my choice. I think he would be perfect as Norman Osborn, in my opinion. Alright, next is going to be kind of weird because one's playing another character in another universe, in the DC universe. I have Kraven the Hunter next, and we have Luke Evans and Jason Momoa. And I think this one is just like the Lizard situation, where I had to have another person here. Luke Evans is cool, he's fine. But come on, man. Jason Momoa is the living embodiment of what Kraven the Hunter should look like. I don't think you need to cut his hair, per se. I think that makes him look more like a hunter, more like he's blending into nature. So I'm picking Jason Momoa for Kraven the Hunter. I know it may not work scheduling-wise or, like, contract-wise, because he's Aquaman. He's the DC's Aquaman. He's amazing at playing Aquaman, but come on, Jason Momoa just looks like the comic book Kraven the Hunter character. Luke Evans is fine, whatever, but Jason Momoa, I think, is the right choice for Kraven the Hunter. I mean, who else would you pick besides Jason fucking Momoa? Next, we have kind of a little obscure villain. I got introduced to him in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. We have Alistair Smythe, who was previously played by B.J. Novak in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, although we didn't see his superpowered evil form. We just saw the Scientist Man. So, people are going to be kind of mad with my choices here. And I'll defend my actions, alright? I don't need to hear anyone's lip. I don't need to hear anyone's typing. He's picking this guy. Alright, I don't want to hear it, alright? Here's my choices. We have Kit Harington of Game of Thrones fame. Haven't seen much of him, so I don't know. But I have seen Hayden Christensen, who played Anakin in the Star Wars prequels. Now look, I'm a firm believer, I'm a firm advocate that Hayden Christensen is not a bad actor. You get your pitchforks, you get your fucking guns, you want to shoot me, whatever. I don't give a shit, alright? This man, Hayden Christensen, is only bad in Star Wars because of the writer. Alright? The actor is just as good as the person who writes the script. If you have a shitty script, you can't expect a good actor to perform it well. That's just how I see things, and it's just the way that George Lucas directed him. He probably gave it his all, and he read off the script that was really shitty, and George Lucas said, no, I want you to say it like this, so he sounded really whiny and complainy. If you've ever seen Shattered Glass just proves right there Hayden Christensen can act. So, between Kit Harington and Hayden Christensen, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm picking my boy Hayden Christensen for Alistair fucking Smythe. I don't care what you say, he's my choice, my opinion. Alright, this next one is the only one I think that I have only one pick for, and that is Rhino. And for Rhino, I'm gonna butcher his name, but he was in Game of Thrones. He's this big, brawny, big, buff guy. I'm gonna butcher his name, Hafþór Júlíus Björnsson. This guy right here. That's who I'm picking for Rhino. Ain't no if and what, how's about it. I don't give a shit, alright? Tombstone, I got my introduction to with the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon and the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. The 90s one came first for me. And he was done excellently in the 2018 PS4 video game. And going off that video game, just based on his appearance there, I think that's the definitive appearance that I'd want to see in a movie. So based on that, I'm going to go with two actors here, of course. Sorry, I had to get that out. So I'm going with Ving Rhames or Carl Weathers for my Tombstone. And if I had to pick between the two, see, I don't know. Carl Weathers could be the more physical guy, even though he's 72 years old. I don't care. He'd probably do it. He's in The Mandalorian, for Christ's sake. He could probably do it. He's more the physical guy who played Apollo Creed. You know what I'm saying? He was in Predator. Ving Rhames could play the more methodical, like, crime boss kind of guy. And also, the 2018 Spider-Man game kind of looks like Ving Rhames. So, I'm picking Ving Rhames over Carl Weathers as my Tombstone in Spider-Man. Hell yeah. Next up, we have Hammerhead. Now, Hammerhead for me was kind of hard to cast. I didn't know who to cast. Who could be this crime boss gangster kind of guy with an iron plate in his head? I'm going to go with Ray Liotta and Nathan Fillion. But since Nathan Fillion's already in the MCU, he voiced that guy in Guardians of the Galaxy, and I kind of want him to be, I don't know who I'd want him to be, but he's a great actor. Alright, Nathan Fillion's fantastic, but come on, man. You want to go with the classic crime boss? You gotta go with Ray Liotta. He just screams gangster, mobster. So I'm going with Ray Liotta as Hammerhead. But it's definitely close on that one. I like Nathan Fillion a lot, but I think I'm gonna go with Ray Liotta. Next up, we kind of have an obscure villain. I don't know too much about him, the Jackal. I don't know much about this villain, so I'm just gonna stick with two actors that, I don't know, I guess they would be sort of close to who he is. I'm gonna go with Michael C. Hall and Joseph Gordon-Levitt as the Jackal. Michael C. Hall played, I'm pretty sure he was Dexter. Let me look this up. Dexter. Was he not Dexter? Michael C. Hall? Yes. All right, we'll just between those two actors, I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt's a little bit too skinny, so I'm gonna go with Michael C. Hall. I think he'd be a good Jackal, even though he's a character I don't really recognize and know. He's not a Spider-Man villain I was familiar with, so yeah, Jackal. All right, guys, we have 4 more here. For the next one, we have Martin Lee, Mr. Negative, and for those two, or for this actor, or this character, Martin Lee, I have John Cho of Star Trek and Harold and Kumar fame, and Daniel Day Kim. And this one's kind of an easy one for me, mainly because I want to see another one play another character in the MCU. I'm going to go with, for Mr. Negative, I'm going to go with John Cho, and that's because Daniel Day Kim is in the talks to play Namor, and he'd be perfect as Namor. He's got the body, he's got the physique, and John Cho is just a really good actor. He was in this movie called Searching, which is fantastic. He's also fantastic in Star Trek. So I'm going to go with John Cho for Mr. Negative. I think he'd be really good. All right, next, I know she's not really a villain, per se, but she's more like an anti-hero. She actually befriends Spider-Man a lot. I'm going to go with Black Cat. I have 3. I have one who's like 30 years old, and then I have one who's a little bit more Tom Holland's age. Kind of work off that. So for Black Cat, the older one, I have Alexandra Daddario, who played Annabelle? I don't know. Something in Percy Jackson. She's in Baywatch, whatever. And then if you want someone a little bit more Tom Holland's age, I have Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in Split. She's in Glass. She's in New Mutants. Which doesn't look like it's coming out. And then we have Florence Pugh, who's kind of a new actress, just burst on the scene with that weird-ass movie Midsommar, or whatever the fuck it was called. And then you also have, I think she's in Little Women, too. So those are my 3 picks, but I would probably go with the latter. I'd probably go with one of the younger options, because I think Alexandra's a little bit too old. She doesn't look old, per se, but for me, I just picked the other 2. I picked them over Alexandra. Hydro Man. So for an actual Hydro Man that's not like a water elemental that Mysterio creates, I have Sam Claflin and Jared Padalecki. So between those 2, I'm going to go with Jared because everyone talks about Supernatural, and I know he's awesome at Supernatural. So I'm going to go with them. Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jared Padalecki. I haven't seen Sam Claflin that much. I think he was on the Hunger Games, so yeah, it was pretty easy. All right, last one here, guys. We have the Hobgoblin, and I have 2 actors for this. I have Charlie Hunnam, who is a little bit more on the younger side, and then if we want an older Hobgoblin, because I know he's kind of old in the comics-ish, I have Hugh Laurie. But I'm going to go with the younger option. I'm going to stick with Charlie Hunnam because I think he's an okay actor. I think he's in Sons of Anarchy. He's in a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to pick Charlie Hunnam. So yeah, I think that's it. Alright, I think that's going to wrap this up. These are my Spider-Man villains casted who I'd want to see play the villains. If I missed out a villain that you want to see me cast, I'm sorry. Leave it in the comments and I'll give you just some random out. Like Kingpin, I think we have to get Vincent D'Onofrio back. If we can get J.K. Simmons to be Jameson, we need to get him back as Kingpin because Daredevil was amazing. So I'm going to end it here, guys. If you guys want to see more castings like this for other characters, please let me know in the comments below. I will talk to you guys later. I love you. Bye-bye.